Okay, so today I'm going to be making, I think this is an easy recipe for apple dumplings. Back at it again with an 8-ounce can of Crescent dinner roll dough here. Make sure you're working with chilled dough, by the way. I'm also going to be using 6 tablespoons of salted butter, a packed quarter cup of light brown sugar. I'm going to mix in 1 tablespoon of cornstarch and a ½ teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I will be using 1 large Granny Smith apple. I'm going to cut this into slices. I'll also be adding around 1 teaspoon of fresh squeezed lemon juice, 1½ teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now to top this, after I assemble the dumplings, I'm going to combine my 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon to 2 tablespoons of sugar. And I'm going to add around 6 fluid ounces of 7-Up to the top. That really gives it a nice crispy, flaky snap to the topping. Okay, so let's start. Okay, so before I start, I want to combine a couple of these ingredients. For one, I want to mix in my tablespoon of cornstarch into my light brown sugar. This makes things less lumpy and clumpy when it's time to add it to the melted butter. So I'm just going to give that a really good mix. Okay, so that's combined. By the way, I'm already starting to preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, so now's a good time to do that. Okay, so my 2 tablespoons of sugar, I'm going to add the 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, and this is going to go on the top. It's going to be sprinkled on the top. And just give that a mix. And I'm using salted butter, but if you have unsalted butter, I like to add a pinch of salt to the topping and a pinch of salt to the brown sugar mixture, but it's up to you. Okay, so let's get started again. Okay, in a small saucepan, I'm going to turn my heat to a medium low to low heat setting. I'm going to still use this little whisk, and I'm going to add my 6 tablespoons of salted butter. Let that melt down. Okay, so I've added in the brown sugar cornstarch and the ½ teaspoon of ground cinnamon. So now I'm just going to give everything a good mix. And I'm actually going to shut off the heat at this point. I don't really want this boiling and bubbling. I just want it to melt the butter. Okay, now that the heat is shut off, everything's kind of combining and dissolving here. I'm going to add my 1.5 teaspoons of vanilla extract and my 1.5 teaspoons of fresh squeezed lemon juice. And that's that. There we go. So here's what I did with my apples. I kind of like to leave a little bit of the peel, and I actually poured boiling water and dried it really well to get any of that, waxy buildup on the exterior. But I basically took out the core, and now I'm going to take out this little bottom piece here. Don't forget to do that. And I know a lot of recipes just have like these 8 large chunks, but I like to thinly slice it, so I'm just going to slice it thinly because I feel like it cooks down a lot better. I'm just going to go in like, there we go. So here's what I did. See, little slices like that. Maybe 1/4 inch. I'm not measuring, but anyways, I'm going to repeat the process for the second one. Okay, so I've got my apples thinly sliced. Now with my cold Crescent dough here, I'm going to unroll it carefully. And now I'm just going to, well, this already wants to split in half, so now you're just going to unroll each little dough triangle here and start rolling in your little apple slices. So for example, I'll do this one like that. And it's going to be like 2 or 3 slices or so. Just kind of evenly divide it. I did it a lot thinner than I usually do, so, but you can do the little chunky kind where you just do 1 apple, cut it into 8 chunks. It works, but I like it thinner slices because it cooks down a lot easier. So that's pretty much what you're looking at. Just gonna roll it up with the fresh apple and then place it on your baking dish. But I'm gonna continue the process. Okay, so they are arranged in my 8x8 square baking dish, and I actually sprayed a little bit of cooking spray on the bottom. Now what you want to do is pour over your butter brown sugar mixture. Kind of give it a mix. And just pour it over all the dumplings. Okay, so now I'm going to add somewhere between 4 to 6 ounces of my 7-Up. That should do the trick. And now you're going to want to sprinkle your sugar cinnamon mixture on top. Okay, so now you're going to bake this in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 to 30 minutes, uncovered by the way. Take a look at this. These are gorgeous. They're just wonderful. My house smells so fantastic. It's hot there. Okay, so as you can see, let's get a closer look by the way. So as you can see, this top is so crispy and the dumplings are going to be so tender. So I'm going to let these set for about 10 minutes before serving. They are still bubbling, so if I serve them right now, it'll probably be too hot for anyone to enjoy. You could serve this with ice cream as is. My husband loves apple dumplings. Actually, he likes dessert, any dessert, with black iced coffee. So that's what I'm going to prepare for him, and then I'll serve him some of these dumplings. Kind of get some of that. Here are 2 delicious apple dumplings. And because the use of the cornstarch in the brown sugar mixture, it really thickens up, almost like apple pie filling. Texturally, it's the best of both worlds. It's tender, soft on the inside, flaky and crispy on top. Really good stuff. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.